Welcome to Voice America. Today we will be discussing on how most Republicans want Trump as the GOP leader. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to always get updated on our latest video. Let's begin. Most Republicans want former President Donald Trump to continue to be their party's leader, in accordance to a new CNN poll conducted through SSRS. But differing views about Trump's position in the birthday celebration and his energy as a future presidential nominee highlight divides inside the GOP. Republicans and Republican-leaning independents say, 63% to 37%, that Trump ought to be the chief of the Republican Party. But they are about evenly break up over whether or not having the defeated former president lower back on the ticket in 2024 would be an advantage. 51% say that Republicans have a higher hazard of retaking the presidency if Trump is the nominee, with 49% announcing the birthday celebration would be higher off with a specific nominee. That's a very distinct panorama from 2019, when extra than three-quarters of Republicans stated their celebration had a higher shot in 2020 with Trump as their nominee than they would with a unique candidate. Trump's help isn't always equally allotted in the course of the party. 69% of Republicans accept a university diploma assume Trump need to head the party, compared with 49% of these who preserve a university degree. A 72% majority of conservatives say Trump have to head the party, in contrast to 49% amongst the smaller bloc of moderates in the party. And 71% of self-identified Republicans desire Trump to lead the party, in contrast with 51% of Republican-leaning independents who say the same. Most Republicans additionally reflect on consideration on Guide for Trump and his false declare to have gained the 2020 election to be in vital phase of their personal partisan identification alongside Guide for Conservative Principles. About 6 in 10 say that helping Trump and that believing that he gained in 2020 are at least a rather necessary section of what being a Republican capability to them. More, though, factor to greater common partisan markers, with 69% pronouncing it as at least extremely essential to oppose Democratic policies, 81% to assist the Republicans in Congress, 85% to maintain conservative values and positions, and 86% to trust the federal authorities must have much less power. Donald Trump plans to commemorate the anniversary of September 11 this year by commentating on a boxing match, but, for some peculiar reason, the twice-impeached former president is itching to get in the ring himself. While doing some promotional press for the battle, which sees Evander Holyfield face off in opposition to Vitor Belfort in the boxing healthy simply no one requested for, Trump felt the want to undertaking his political opponent to an assembly of fists. Trump advised newshounds he knew precisely who he'd like to face in the ring when quizzed on who he'd suppose he'd high quality in a fight, and the reply was, predictably, the man who beat him in the 2020 election. Well, if I had to select any person in the world, now not an expert boxer due to the fact I'll take a skip on the expert boxers, Trump said, via Raw Story, I assume possibly my best battle would be Joe Biden due to the fact I assume he'd go down very quickly. Very quickly. He'd be in massive trouble. I assume Biden would go down inside the first few seconds. Just to reiterate, Trump, a man who sits in the back of a desk all day lengthy consuming food plan cokes and ingesting ungodly quantities of quickly food, thinks he ought to out-survive Biden, a former Navy man who works out 5 days a week and has a pilotin bike, in a bout of fisticuffs. We simply don't see it. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to always get updated on our latest video.